Hey, I'm Tonia Sanders from the Chatty Momma, and I'm here with JamesBell from General Motors. And we're here at the DC Auto Show, and I just want to take a moment to ask James a few questions about car choices for moms with families and small children. I have two children who are 8 and 5, and one of my concerns when I am thinking about buying a car would be the safest vehicle for my family, but then also I like to have a car that has bells and whistles because with my kids they want to have DVD players and things like that.
Your mom doesn't mean you're not having fun. I understand.
Exactly. So what would be your advice for a mom such as myself and for my readers as far as like choosing a car for their family with small kids and then also maybe teenagers, because our kids are going to grow and maybe we're not going to buy a new car every year.
Sure.
What would be a choice that you would suggest?
Well, first thing I think is before you go shopping or even before coming to an auto show like this is just really take notes on how you're using the car. Are you driving 50 miles a day? Probably not. Average American drives about 28 miles a day. So, are you just driving around town? Are you on the highways? And really get a sense of what you're doing with the vehicle. I think you'd be surprised. We all went off and bought big SUVs because we thought we were needing to go to the airport and pick up people or take 17 kids to the soccer practice. Yeah, we all did it. I think it's pulling back, and let's do something a little more rational, a little smarter. So my advice would be to really have a hard look at how you're using the vehicle. I think that you'll find that one of the electrified choices might actually be a good choice. My wife is a perfect example. She drives about 8 miles a day. Why in the world she uses gasoline, I don't know. She doesn't need it. So there's a good chance that one of your readers might enjoy having something that allows them to stay away from the gas station. But as far as you mentioned safety, that's the price of doing business now. I mean, there's no vehicle that I can think of from General Motors or from any other brand that's like, ooh, bad idea. It's going to, collapse on itself. Safety is key. I mean, one of our least expensive vehicle, the Chevy Spark, has 10 airbags in it. So, a $12,000 car with 10 airbags, in a catastrophic moment, it turns into a cocoon. It just wraps you up. So safety is pretty much a given in the new car market. And if somebody's coming from an older car, that's going to make them feel much better.
Well, I liked one of the statements that you made earlier, and you said that when moms go out to choose cars, we need to look at, think about what we want out of the car. That's really important. Yes. One of the things that I want to know, though, because I felt like when I had children, I needed to have an SUV for safety and then for all that space.
You and millions of others.
Yeah, but what about a sedan? What would you suggest as far as not having a really huge honking car with all that gas and all that? What about a sedan?
Let me tell you a true story. On behalf of General Motors, I took a Chevrolet Equinox to a Costco, and I filled that thing up with as much goldfish and chicken nuggets as I could. Went to a parking lot where I had a Chevrolet Impala, which is a full-size sedan. And piece by piece, it all went from the Equinox, which is a very typical SUV, into the Impala, trunk closed, safety's addressed because now nobody can see what I bought, so it's theft-proof, so to speak. And then I got a nice, comfortable ride, beautiful sound system, beautiful interior, and better fuel efficiency because the aerodynamics are better. So I think that in many cases, a sedan might actually be a good choice to step away from an SUV because today's sedans are incredibly versatile.
Well, I'm excited about the Volt. I really love the fact that you can plug it in and just charge it. And I like what you're talking about, being able to ride on electric only. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm normally around maybe 8 miles a day, like your wife.
There it is.
Not going too far. I mean, there are days I come into the city, but for the most part, I live 17 miles outside the city. So it's not a lot of gas.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really love that. So thank you so much. I can't wait to share this with my readers. I think they'll really get a lot of great information from this.
Good.
Thank you.